Brothers and sisters in Islam, if the sun wants to play the role of the moon and the moon wants to play the role of the sun, what happens? You have an eclipse. You have an eclipse, either a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse. What happens when the eclipse happens? The effect of the sun is weakened. The effect of the moon is weakened, and the stars are nowhere to be seen. In the home, when the father wants to be the mother and the mother wants to be the father, you know what happens? You have an eclipse. It's called the social eclipse. And when this happens, the effect of the father is not felt, the effect of the mother isn't felt, and the children suffer the most.
To the moon, and girl, I'm so damn into you. I'm done with these models and done with these bottles, girl, I'm just trying to talk to you. We don't have to go to the room, but girl, best believe if we do, that we getting naughty, the bottle's my party, so you ever don't sound like the truth. And we can go as far as you want to, cause ain't nobody finna stop you. D&D bumping out of this water, when we fornicating back at the Tahoe. Then I remember go off on my phone, I pick up to you saying you home alone. I hop in the whip, and I should desist on the wrist of the post, because I know that it's going down tonight. Let's fuck it up now, just maybe go round, cause we in the clouds tonight. I'm trying to show you the time of your life, so girl, let you down tonight. Let's go a few rounds tonight. I'm lost in the sauce, and what's it gon' cost? Let's play your sides tonight. It's about to go down, it's about to go down, it's about to go down tonight. It's about to go down, it's about to go down, it's about to go down tonight. I'm lost in the sauce, so what's it gon' cost? Let's play your sides tonight. It's about to go down tonight. It's about to go down, it's about to go down tonight. With so many missed calls, I understand why you was pissed off. Let me explain for a minute before you start jumping to conclusion. I really don't understand why you doing this. Chill for a minute, let me explain this. I'm sorry for all the attention I ain't paying. All of this honor you be wearing, I paid it. The only one that do better than a man shit. Yeah, you baby, all day, baby. You be on my mom, best believe I ain't playing. Stay up on my grind just for you is what I'm saying. Make a moves for you, be on my scripture on the daily. So maybe be less insecure, cause you the best and that I can't ensure. Like Geico, when you progressive that I can't ignore. My A1, you my lady, and that's for sure, so stop it. Ready your head just to go and pop shit off. Also bitches that ain't even really jocking, dog. You tripping, baby, I ain't even got no options, though. And if I did, I'm in my pictures, you could bleed me. Oh, goddamn, you don't understand it. We don't do what you be begging cause I'm damaged. You hit me down before I hit in best. You know, you fucking up the fly like a bandit. Play vacation, motivation, keep me in the studio, see deprivation. Got me going crazy, though, my body shaking. Think about that body and the love we making faces. We was meant to be together, forever and ever, for worse or for better. And poor with cheddar, it don't matter. You was winning my grind, and my pockets fat. A house with a glass, wonderful, let's get shut out tonight. Let's fuck it up now, just maybe go round, cause we in the clouds tonight. I'm trying to show you the time of your life, so girl, let you down tonight. Let's go a few rounds tonight. I'm lost in the sauce, so what's it gon' cost? Let's play your sides tonight. It's about to go down, it's about to go down, it's about to go down tonight. It's about to go down, it's about to go down, it's about to go down tonight. I'm lost in the sauce, so what's it gon' cost? Let's play your sides tonight. It's about to go down tonight. It's about to go down, it's about to go down tonight.
Peace. Hello.
Hope
Happy Thursday.
Doing well.
Hope everybody's well.
Yes.
He said, she said, love and abundance is in the building.
Yes, indeed.
Y'all get settled, grab your little sip, little water,
Word.
get yourself together, get the kids settled in.
It's gonna be nice
8
one
o'clock.
tonight. Gonna be a nice one tonight.
8 o'clock. Come on, man. Remember how y'all tried to rush home Thursday? Got to be in 8 o'clock.
Right.
Your favorite show is
That's
coming
right.
on.
You're trying to watch, man.
That's how we
like
grew
the
up.
Cosby's a different world.
and live in color.
Some shows brought you home.
That's right.
I got to go home. A show coming on.
Street got the crime rate.
How y'all doing?
How y'all doing? Hope everybody had an amazing week.
Got some beautiful folks in the chat. We see y'all.
Indeed. Yes, indeed.
Sending love and light to everybody who need it. Pow. There you go. Take that.
Let's go ahead and get to the pleasantries.
Yes. Notorious, ruthless media is in the building.
Indeed. Peace.
Welcome, brother.
Hank is on the check-in. Salute to
Hank
my brother. Protect
building.
yourself at all times. Let me flip up my flip-up glasses.
Let them know you in the building.
Sean said, dual stream. Likes for each.
What's happening?
What's
happening?
I like how he get down. Likes for both. Shout out to Take Heed. It's them to the
Peace
message.
and welcome everybody. Come on in. Come on.
Doing well, brother.
Share the stream.
Is in the building. How you doing, brother Eugene?
We're gonna talk about this tonight.
Quantum is in the building. Hey,
welcome.
Quantum.
Sending all that love.
Moderation gang in the building. Lady Navoa. Hey, baby
Sister
girl.
Navoa is in the building.
Hope you doing well.
Red Lipstick Vibes podcast is in the building.
Absolutely.
How you doing, sis? Welcome.
Shout out to everybody checking in on Facebook. Shout out to Marlo. Shout out to Mo. Shout out to JB on the check-in. Shout out to Stephanie. Hope y'all doing well. Shout out to the whole Facebook crew. Feel free to chime in whenever y'all want.
Shout out to the creator for bringing us all here safely. It's Thursday. It's
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. There go my sis on the check-in. Hey, sis. Hope you're doing well.
How you doing?
And Lady Navoa said, yeah, them Dwayne Wayne looks.
It's definitely one of my crushes growing up.
Shout out to the gang.
Absolutely.
Shout out to the Knicks for making it happen. Yeah, you see the Knicks
little
hat.
surprise.
You see the Knicks hat. Shout out to the Knicks. World class for the check-in. What up, guy?
Welcome.
Hope everybody's doing well. Hope y'all had a good week.
Yes.
Y'all see the thumbnail on the check-in.
Put that together real nice too, man.
Thank you. Really... Appreciate that. Okay. If you didn't see it, y'all know I got you. We got the missus on the check-in today. We have the one and only Mrs.SheSaid from Shame Sundays in the building on the couch. And we gonna talk to her about a recent sit down that she had with Sister Oshun. Shout out to my sis.
Much love.
Indeed. Amazing sit down and conversation that you ladies had.
I think it was my first official interview.
Okay.
Really?
Okay.
All right. So shout out to you.
That conversation just wanted us to spark an understanding of not only, Shame Sundays and why Mrs. does what she does and the lens that she looks out of and what inspired her to even get this going, but also us as a whole and how Shame Sunday is the beginning of the week versus the end of the week, which, contains he said, she said, love in abundance on Thursday, and then Cerebro Saturday, which is, each unique and individual in their own right.
Right.
And our approach to the weekend and to our existence in this platform, in this area, was very methodical, very thought out.
Absolutely.
Very collaborating.
Yeah.
And we wanted to give you guys an insight to that, answer any questions that you have. And if anybody has any questions for the missus, we're going to drop the link in a little bit after we put a little bit of meat on the bone and get to it. Mm-hmm. Because some people don't agree with the shame perspective, the shame approach. Mm-hmm. Some do.
It depends on how they look at it.
Absolutely.
Everybody sees it differently.
Absolutely. What would you say about, the difference in receiving? Some people may agree, some people may not. And of course, you're always going to get everything in between. So how do you feel initially about having something called Shame Sundays, your approach to that?
Needed and necessary.
Okay.
Just growing up as a child, now that I'm an adult, reflecting back as a child, a lot of those tactics kept me in line.
Okay.
To some degree. Of course, we're all going to go out and be mischievous as children, make a lot of mistakes, trial and error, whatever the case may be. But a large majority of the intact moral standard and compass came from the shame that I may put on my family that I don't even know, the ancestors that I don't even know. It stops at my father's mother.
Gotcha.
It stops at my mother. So there's no, ancestry behind it, but just the feeling of it all was already embodied in me as a child, right? So, and then growing up with the Bible and church and, the pastor every Sunday shaming any and everybody about any and everything.
Okay, Pastor. Okay. The backsliders, right?
Backsliders, whatever, and, growing up in a family, and in community, people were called out. You're going to be held accountable for whatever someone sees as bad and foolish behavior, okay. Checking parents, teachers.
Okay.
Like that was something, the teacher's law was respected. When the teacher had to call home, you was afraid to get in trouble.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because the parent is definitely going to hold you accountable for what the teacher said, face to face, whatever the case may be.
Indeed.
And now, fast forward 30 years later, it's absolutely not like that.
It is a little different.
It's a little different.
Well, we're gonna get to it. We're gonna have an amazing conversation with Mrs.SheSaid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to approach this with professionalism and unfamiliarity.
Right.
So just shout out to you for being here and giving me your time.
She filling your head with he said, she said.
And not just that, like just over the years, our 25 years when we started having children, Sunday was a day of reflection, right? We weren't church goers or anything like that, but it was a day of rest. We didn't do a lot of TV. Music was played, hair was getting done, and building was happening, conversations, dialogue with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's always been a self-reflection day. So when we considered adding on your side, my side separately, so you can speak to the gentlemen,
right? I
can speak to the ladies, I'm hitting hard.
Indeed.
I don't want to play around. I'm not playing around because, we need to get it together as a society and as women. If we're leading homes, we need to lead them properly. And we need to get our children back in control because it's out of control. It's not just our city, it's many cities around the U.S. So
I hear you.
Need to get it together.
I hear you. We got a couple of chime-ins. JB chimed in. Shout out to JB. Shout out to the Grown Man Click podcast. They doing a lot of work out here. Y'all check them out when y'all get a chance. He says shame is always in effect, just masked by the use of whatever originated by the neighborhood's stank, adopted by the body boy. Okay, I got you. Got you, body boy.
Yeah, we knew what that
That was
meant.
old school. Yeah, he went old school on that. And we got Donique on the check-in, and we got some cash apps to acknowledge. Last week, Donique came through with the cash app. We appreciate you, Donique.
Much appreciated.
Always for supporting the stream, for giving us inspiration to continue going. And we got a few that came through not too long ago.
Notorious, ruthless
media. Shout out to AR.
Shout out with the cash app. Appreciate you, sir.
You, bro. And I believe we got another one, right? I believe it was another one.
No, not today. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
It's just AR.
Okay.
Shout out to the brother.
Well, we appreciate y'all. And let's go ahead and show them a little bit of love. No. Shout out to AR. Shout out to Donique. We appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate the support of everybody that rock with us. We got an amazing program tonight. I got some title cards. I got some videos. I got some definitions to get us all on the same page. But we got the missus in the building today. And I have the pleasure of hearing her think about this approach, think about how she was going to put this all together. And, hearing it come from her, someone who takes being a mother so serious, who takes the education, the nutrition, the well-roundedness of her children wholeheartedly and near and dear to her heart. It's admirable. So sometimes we can listen to the elders, to the people who approach things with a certain expertise. and get pointers and get suggestions. Never telling somebody what to do, but always giving a suggestion and an example, whether what to do or what not to do. And I think that's what stood out to me the most, is that you, like me, had a lot of what not to do examples. So you took that and you ran with that. Do you want to talk about that?
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, we grew up the way we grew up, in a time where, drugs and, so many other things entered into families to strip us apart and not have us be whole. So, parents couldn't be as present, and us being step of kids, we were very independent, very responsible, very adult-like, doing a lot of very responsible things that I see teenagers now can't even do when we were 6, 7, 8. You understand? So, to just see children now with no self-control or discipline, I have to pin that on the parents. My mother was absolutely a young parent. So we can't blame it being young parents, because grown-ass women having children behave the same way. So I can't make that an excuse. Age is just a number. It's about maturity.
Indeed.
My mother was very mature and responsible, to be so young. So when I look at her and, all of the dialogue that we had together, me being the only girl and the baby, and she not having an elder mother or grandmother, to build with, I listened, and I still made mistakes. I still repeated some of the mistakes, and it was very hard for her to correct me or reprimand me. But the shame was there. I had it embodied because I knew to break the cycle. Like, don't repeat a lot of these bad mistakes.
Indeed.
You know what I mean? We here, and I got to do what I got to do. But I would rather you not repeat that cycle.
Indeed.
So, a lot of things was just embedded. And, for me to have 4 children, I definitely want them to, not repeat.
Indeed.
And we broke a lot of cycles here. We got our 3rd graduating from high school.
True indeed.
1 left, and that one's homeschooled. So, that's not even something we're stressing. That one can graduate by 16.
True indeed. True indeed.
And just wanting to share. I'm always willing to teach, anyone who wants to learn. So that's where that is. I'm not trying to beat a horse in the head, a dead horse. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to beat nobody in the head with my knowledge, just, sharing what I know. And if it can help you, by all means, please, take it on, share it with whoever you want. And if not,
True indeed.
Toss it out the window.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Derek
May
Mason
not apply
is on
to
the
you.
check-in. What up, Derek? Hope all is well. Thank you for checking in and stopping with us, man. We got an amazing conversation that we're getting ready to have with Mrs.SheSaid, man, from Shame Sundays, which coincidentally happens to be my beautiful wife. I appreciate you so much. And all of the work that you do out here in these streets. AR is checking back in, man. Thank you for the Cash App. We appreciate you, bro. And it looks like Savannah was on the check-in too. Hey, Savannah. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had an amazing week. And let's go ahead and do this, Mrs. I see when you run your stream, you start with a collective. You try to get everybody on the same page, right?
Yes.
So let's go ahead and get a background up there and see if we can do it like how you do it. Shout out to you.
Yes, yes.
This is the Miseducation of Shame with Mrs.SheSaid. And we called it that as a play on words from Lauryn Hill. And also just to give people a background, a education, a familiarity with Mrs.SheSaid, why she does what she does, and her approach and her perspective. And Mandrella's on the check-in. What up, Mr. Harris? Hope all is well. Hope you had an amazing week.
Welcome, welcome.
And like I said, I've been watching your program, Mrs.SheSaid, and I think you start like this.
Absolutely. Got to give a definition.
Shame, a noun, a painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by a consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. So you're not shaming a person, you're shaming behavior.
Absolutely.
Do you want to elaborate on that?
I mean, I don't point the finger at people in particular. I think I have lately shameful mothers on TikTok.
Okay.
A couple times.
Okay. You stepped it up a notch. Huh?
Yeah, stepped it up a notch.
That's right.
TikTok won't shut them down. So
Old school, new school, need to learn though.
it ain't just me. So, It's quite a few of us out there that's not having it, put the baby's clothes on. It's a lot of behaviors that I consider to be shameful and foolish.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And bad. And when we continue to repeat a lot of the cycles, we're destroying our society. And, it's up for us mothers who are the creators of these lives, the beginners, the first teachers, the first nourishers, to implement this moral compass, value, how important values are, the different characteristics of good behaviors and bad behaviors. This dialogue really needs to happen because they don't have it. They're desensitized because everything is on social media. Everything is on TV. Even when the cuss is just the music in the car.
Okay.
They bleep it out and you can still hear it. You know what I mean? Like they know what they're saying because, parents, we're not centering ourselves.
I got you.
as well as what we're allowed to be, absorbed into our children's brains. Cause it's amazing. Most of the kids can't read. They're barely on any basic math level, in large parts of our communities. And it's our fault as parents. So I got to shame some behaviors out there, every day watching shit. So hopefully you'll watch the shit and be like, you know what? I am a fool. My children even tell me. It's children that check their parents, but parents don't listen. They ain't listening. So, hopefully you'll hear it and you'll change your behavior or see that you're doing something that may be affecting your child in the future. Because I don't think we are putting their best interest in front of ours, our selfish desires and needs. And this is where we are.
I got you.
We're not done. I think that's the problem, right? We're not done with our children.
Tell me what you mean
when
you say
up.
You're not done.
Because people give up at a certain age, 16, 15, 18, but even at 25, they still need some molding, some guidance, and they may look to us, so we need to be prepared to give them whatever information they may need or find the resources for them. And, we letting our kids go really, really young.
So it's really no finish line.
I don't think so. Personally, no.
I got you.
No.
Shame equals a loss of respect or esteem and dishonor. A person's actions and or situation that brings a loss of respect and honor. So when you brought this to me, I'm going to play a video for you after because you touched on something that I wanted to talk about. When you gave me this information that this is the route that you were taking, no pun intended, but actually pun intended, actually. I kind of analogized it as just that. It was a route. And I have some things I want to say about shame as well. Scholastic as well, like your definitions. But for me, shame was a destination. Seriously? That's incredibly disrespectful. And the reason I said it's incredibly disrespectful is because if we come on every week at the same time, every week, and we don't come on a lot, 3 times, particularly that we're going to get to in this monologue. But Thursday at 8, like the Cosby Show, we've been coming on and will continue. So to call now a content creator, to call now is incredibly insensitive and disrespectful. So just for the record, guys. Okay. I thought shame was a destination. I think that you get in your car, you put shame. Where you want to go? I want to go to shame. Bam. It brings up different routes. You could take a route that is pleasant and nice and say, listen, Janie, I don't think that your mom would appreciate the way that you're behaving. I don't think that it reflects very well on your personality. And I think that maybe you should think about changing that behavior and presenting yourself in a different fashion. And Janie could go home and sit and say, man, that was really nice the way Mr. He said, put that to me. He was right too. Maybe I should have changed my behavior.
Maybe.
They still took that shame in when they went home. It was very nice the way it was put to them, but they still got to the destination of shame versus Mr. He said saying, hey, goddamn it, act like you got some damn home training. You know Mrs. Janie ain't teach you like goddamn that. Act like you got some sense. And then Janie go home and say, well, damn, he was insensitive, but he was right. Let me change my behavior. You still got to shame either way. Am I right?
Right. I mean, the individual. It depends on the individual, because some nowadays people will be like, F my mother.
Ooh,
F that.
Wait a minute.
I think that may have a lot to do with it too. But we don't teach that because how can I tell you not to do it when I was doing it? Yeah, because my mother said, don't do it, stupid. Don't do it, stupid. Okay, you see the position I'm in? You want to be in this position? I love y'all to death, but do you want to be in this position?
Right.
Don't do it, stupid. I mean, why repeat that? You see the struggle.
I hear
you know, but I don't think everybody reflects like that to say, because it's continuing, obviously, you know, some shit is not changing. Cycle of hoes, generations of social services. And
I think they're called healers or 304s now. I think they have a different name now. But I know what you mean. Okay, it's a cycle.
I mean, back in the day, it was a profession. Now they labeling themselves and doing it for free.
Understandable. We gonna get to it. But let's get an icebreaker video going, just because I put a question up in the chat as a poll. And I'm gonna go ahead and close it up in a couple of minutes, but I want to play a quick video to give us a little bit of meat on the bones for what we're going to be talking about today. And let's see if we can grab something like this.
Okay, so this is what I mean by issues with our culture, right? We should be coming out of the woodworks to condemn this, but I will condemn this and Black people will still get mad at me for condemning this behavior. They will call me a race traitor. You don't care about your race. How are you siding with the other side? These girls are stealing from Walmart and eating it and bragging about it, and you're worried about what side I'm on. There shouldn't be any side. It should be, this is wrong. This needs to stop. Let's get that fixed. That's what it should be. And again, when it comes to our culture, look what they're teaching the young. Yeah, it's okay, girl. Let's just walk into Walmart, steal what we want and eat it whenever. They're not going to stop us. Let's just go do that, knowing it's wrong. Or do they know it's wrong? Every single one of them should be punished. But again, I'm the bad guy. I don't think I'm Black because I'm not subscribing to this narrative. There needs to be community service, or they work for Walmart for a full day unpaid. There needs to be something to disincentivize this behavior, because right now there's nothing that I'm seeing. And clearly it doesn't seem like their parents are doing anything.
Okay. So that was the latest challenge, of course. Go in Walmart, take what you want, start eating it on camera. And of course, there were younger people doing this. And this is what caught my attention, that younger people are very influential. And when we give them this influence, and a young man, like he said, where's the people that call this out?
Call it out.
This is the shame that doesn't exist in our community, in society. And I put up a poll that asked, has shame ever existed in our community, in our society? I believe I worded it as community. And I would love to see what everybody said. I'm about to take a look in a second. But what do you think of that video? The inspiration of the young people and the approach that that young man took, and how he felt he was going to be received. What do you think about that?
I mean, you know, he feels as though he's going to be shamed for calling out some shameful, you know, some bad and foolish behavior, you know, because shame, it's a painful feeling of an individual. You have to feel that. You know, we're not into just shaming people to bully them and make them feel bad about themselves. It is an internal thing. You know, I mean, I agree with him. We are modeling horrible behavior. You know, we all grew up going to the grocery store and we would take the little grapes. Like the most of anything would be a grape or two. And, you know, it would be, don't eat them all. You know what I mean? Like mama would let you know, like, you know, it is stealing. You can't eat half the bag and then get to the register and don't think you might not be watched on the video camera.
I got
you know, and it was not as many video cameras as it is now. So just that internal shame of knowing somebody's watching, you know, and it's dirty in my mind. But these kids is opening up sodas and snacks and just doing it. Like, and it's so many cameras in there. You know, it's like they have no care to get arrested, you know, because they're children. You know, what can they do? You know what I mean? Like they may have this mindset. And like he said, do they know it's bad? They might not even know.
Right.
Because this is what they grew up doing. You know? Get caught stealing a candy bar from the grocery store. They call my mama.
They did call your mom.
They call my mama.
Call your mom for many things. Shout out to Intellectual Soapbox on the check-in. Appreciate you. Take heed, said the young man is correct. It's, you know, something unique that, like you said, he felt he would be shamed for calling out a behavior, but yet certain behaviors, certain groups of people don't want to be shamed, immune to shame. Don't bring me any bad news because I don't want to hear it. Right. But I put up a poll. The poll asked, has shame ever existed in our community? 83% of the people said yes. And 16% of the people said no. So let's go ahead and take a little bit of a journey with us.
Let's take a journey on this train.
The psychology of shame. Very, very well. Mine. This is an article that I read by Arlen Kuhnkick. It was updated and then reviewed by Stephen Gans, MD. Shame is a feeling of embarrassment or humiliation that arises from the perception of having done something dishonorable, immoral, or improper. While shame is a negative emotion, its origins play a part in our survival as a species. Without shame, we might not feel the need to adhere to cultural norms, follow laws. Shame can be problematic when it becomes internalized and results in an overly harsh evaluation of oneself as a whole person. Mm-hmm. So like you alluded to, you're not shaming people because you don't have the authority to do that.
Not at all.
But you are pointing out behaviors. I read more in the magazine. I'm going to get to it. Shout out to Inye on the check-in.
Hey, welcome.
But I put that up because shame has, in my opinion, existed. And I want to put up an example. I want to know what you guys think. And then we're going to get back to Mrs.SheSaid. So a dunce cap.
They had those when we went to school.
Give you guys a second. Mrs.SheSaid. Do you know what a dunce cap is?
Yeah. When you got in trouble for being a clown or, you know, misbehaving in class, you absolutely got to sit in the corner and put one of those long, tall hats on, however it was designed that the teacher had.
I got you.
Yeah, I do remember that. It was early school, you know, so they stopped that.
Indeed.
Late 80s or so, but yeah, it definitely existed. You might want to see it in the Little Rascals, maybe.
Young Bros Gaming, shout out to you. Thank you for checking in. Yes,
welcome.
Rascals. I do remember
the
it.
Little Rascals.
And you know, that's very early in our upbringing and even in, you know, television, cinema.
Yeah.
So the dunce cap has been around. I think that shame has been around. Dunce cap, just an example. I want to get back to you though, Mrs. Harris, and us as well, who we are. Harris Tribe Media Group. We hear a lot of people recently and throughout our time here saying you need to find your tribe. Yeah, right? Yeah. Don't you hear that?
Yeah. All the time.
Vibe with your tribe.
Vibe with your tribe.
We've been right here, your tribe, the whole time, from day one. We love you guys.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you. We tell you all the time, the different moderators, the different people who give us information, that give us all types of entertainment.
Just the energy is, you know me, I've always been one of them energy absorber folks.
Mhm.
So, it's all welcome. The good, the bad, and the ugly, because we all learn from each other.
Is that our brother checking? Is that our brother checking in from Ghana? That is Cashew Daddy. Cashew Daddy is
How you
Gusto.
doing over there?
Gusto, what's up, bro?
What time is it over there? Is it tomorrow or yesterday?
Hope you're doing well, man. Thank you for joining us.
Check out the Cashew Daddy.
That's a real West Indian word, man. Dating to marriage support.
Hey, welcome.
Hey. Hope you're doing well. Shout out to Lady Di and her hubby. Amazing couple, doing amazing work out here. We appreciate y'all.
See him.
Keep doing that work, man. Cashew Daddy check in. He said, my auntie used to tell me my cousin was gonna be dunce cap when he didn't do our school work, right?
Yes. So I used to call it dotish.
Shame.
I remember that word. I got around the Caribbean.
Simon on the check-in. What up, my brother?
Welcome.
Y'all check out the food channel.
And if you want to know how to sign shame, it's just...
You are loved by us. You are so loved by us. Whenever you want to come up, you come on up. We're going to drop the link in a couple of minutes. If you want to come up just to say what up, come up, say what's up, and then you could drop back down. It's all good.
Yeah.
But if you got any questions for Mrs.SheSaid about shame, about us, about the thing that we put together, this Harris Tribe Media Group, because we're going to explain it all tonight. We're going to get to it. Hope you guys got a couple of minutes. But who we are, Harris Tribe Media Group, tribe.
Yeah, and
tribe.
Always, yeah.
A
You always put that
Harris.
label on the back, yes.
Like a Tribe Called Quest, but different.
Yes. Not Harrison.
Not Harrison. Not goddamn Harrison. It's not us.
Hello, motherfucker.
That is the worst. Right. Okay. And he said, she said, love and abundance. That's us together.
Absolutely.
That's us.
Yes.
And why is that us? Because that's everybody.
Right. Yes. It's always three parts to a story. Three parts. It's your part, their part, and the goddamn truth.
Somewhere in the middle.
Spirit, no.
So it's all he said, she said, until somebody can prove it. We even know that from court.
Right.
That's just he said, she said. What can you prove?
And I'm always just do it with love and abundance.
So
that's
it's
with
funny
the agree to disagree.
How we come here, like it depends. Not all. You're not talking about me. You can't say that about everybody. When it's all he said, she said in the beginning. So what you talking about?
I mean, because you don't want to generalize. But if I'm speaking of particular behaviors, and if it doesn't apply to you, let that shit fly. But if it applies to you, if you don't feel the shame in the foolish and bad behaviors that I may be, showing you on my shows on Sunday,
talk about it.
Then, that's on you to look into the mirror and, attempt to make that change. It's on you.
It's the man in the mirror.
I'm just giving you a reflection. And when I say I do it for my kids, again, we're almost 50 years old and we have an 8-year-old on top of the 3 grown, one almost grown, but 3 grown kids.
We about to get to that. So he says, she said, love and abundance. He says, she said, everything is he says, she said, until you can prove something, right?
Prove it.
And it all starts from love. That's what that love and abundance is supposed to be. That's where it all comes from. That's why you can take the correction, because protection comes with correction.
Absolutely.
So you take the praise, you take the compliments, you take the kudos, then you got to take the cod liver oil, the medicine that don't taste so good. You got to take that too, but it comes
with the
from
facts
love.
Of life too. Take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life.
God damn it, the facts of
life. Of life.
You do.
I mean,
and the love comes from abundance. Again, my cup got to spill over to spill into Nikki's. Her cup got to spill over to spill into the kids. They cup got to spill over to spill into each other's. Yeah. We weren't raised and grown with abundances of love. So we got to love ourselves first. And that abundance is what you guys see and why we chose that for our name. You want to elaborate on that?
I mean, you did very well.
It's true. It's circular because it's true.
It is. It is.
We have an agenda for being here.
Yeah.
You want to tell them what that is?
I mean, the children, our future. You know, we agreed to, you know, be selfless in this act, and it has to. It consists of us depriving us of some things, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Because it's for the kids, you know, and it's not to a degree of we're not satisfied in life, you know, because I've always felt like, you know, this has been my purpose. You know, when I say I've been vetting since kindergarten, it's really true. Like I've always had boyfriends, and I may have even been shamed for Nikki always got a boyfriend.
Well, damn.
Shame. You know, but again, you know, learned boys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, got to learn them very well. You know, and got to know when I got around other females and I had pushback of all boys, they're all not the same. You know what I mean? I've always combated that. So this is not anything new.
Indeed.
Because it's true. Just like we all women are not the same.
And we have an overall agenda for being here. We have an 8-year-old daughter. We are almost 50 years old apiece.
Yeah, it's kind of late. Y'all be careful with that. Ain't nobody guaranteed
life y'all looking at
60,
right here.
65.
I'm 48 years old. My wife
46.
is 46 years old. We have an 8-year-old daughter. So
shit.
we want to leave a video documentary of all the questions she may have, all the information that we can leave, all the examples that we can show. So if she ever wants to know what the old man thought, if she wants to see the old man yell, if she wants to just see the old man say, you know, XYZ for an hour, I'm going to do a stream just saying XYZ in case that's one of the questions that she has. Right. But there's a purpose for us being here. And that 8-year-old girl, that 23-year-old girl, that 17-year-old girl, that 26-year-old boy, even, they may want to see us one day when we not here no more. And it was a great example for us to leave some information for them to be able to grab. You want to add on to that?
I mean, and their children, if they choose to have any, you know, and their children's children, if this thing exists for another 30, 40 years, you know, the impact that we can have on our seeds, you know, and that's important because, again, I always say to them, I would love to have asked my grandmother so much, you know, even my mother's mother, who was, you know, never got to meet, you know, to just have any type of missive, any type of letter or message, you know, because all of us can't speak the spirit. I'm just saying.
Indeed. And it's embarrassing when I go to the doctor and I can't tell him nothing from my father's side. I can't tell him anything past my mom and my grandmother. It's embarrassing. He has questions that I can't answer. Yeah. My children have questions I can't answer because I know nothing about that side of my family. So to leave as much information, to leave as many pictures, to leave as many videos,
and memories,
we don't have much. And, you know, what we got to work off of, we hold near and dear to our hearts. So we wanted to, again, break another cycle, break another one of those generational things with our families that coincidentally we both share and have information, have history, have lineage here for you to look at, for you to see. Go on 23andMe and find yourself.
Yeah. And we hold on to stuff. We have some, you know, some important valuables from the ancestors. So, you know.
Have you ever watched our show from the beginning to the end? It's, you know, not an unfair question because you sat down with a young lady and I believe you asked her, have you ever watched my show? I'm not sure what the answer was.
I didn't get it concrete. Yes.
I'm not sure. Yeah. I would have to rewind back, but it's just information like that. You got to watch the show, and not only our show, how about watch our stream? Because we have a purpose. Yeah. And if you look at the show, you may be able to identify the purpose. But an even better question, have you noticed our lineup? Because we have a lineup. No. We come at you for 3 days, 2 days in 1 week, and 1 day to start the week. And that one day to start the week is Shame Sunday, because you start your week with, like the Mrs. said, reflection. And even if it's a what not to do, just don't be this girl, or take the suggestions that come at the end of the show or throughout the clips and use that to build off of. But you had a show a few weeks ago and somebody came in on Sunday and said, "Ooh, bless y'all. It's Sunday. Y'all in here shaming. I am super Christian-y, so I'm going to tell y'all to have a blessed day. I'm going to church. This is not a day to be shaming people."
They probably never came back, but it's so good.
But we appreciate them coming through.
Absolutely.
But is there a day that is, relegated as non-shameable? Is dysfunction taking
let me just say this.
Yeah, please.
When that happens, the teenage Nikki be wanting to jump out.
Ooh.
Let me tell you. So it's a blessing that he sits right across from me. Honestly. Let me just say.
That zen.
For real. As soon as I saw it, I was about to go hot. Like you mean coming in here talking about why you don't see the community? Mm-hmm. But I think the main reason for me deciding to do it is moving here.
Okay.
The transition from where we came from, of the living we were doing 8 years up in the luxurious mountains of the Adirondacks. It's a different living to come to the most brownest of brownest inner cities. I feel like I went back to my childhood when crack hit our communities really bad. So, the shame in me was like, I couldn't believe that this type of stuff was still happening. The dilapidation, the hopelessness, the crack.
Yes.
Methadone. It was amazing to me, and to see our people that look like us run the city and the state, shame. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's just not a good look.
Shame. We got a couple of seconds. Let's see what Lady Navoa says. She said, "Wow, you guys look good, guys. Ain't nothing wrong with that. The Bratz Pregos, now she 48. Does she look 48? Nope, sorry. Had to come to chat, say something, give props when due. Thank you. We appreciate you, Lady Navoa, always. Love what you guys are doing. Facts. Shout out to you, Simon. We appreciate you, man. Shout out to everybody checking in, anybody that's pulling in. I'm here with the missus, and I'm just sitting down reflecting with Mrs.SheSaid from Shame Sundays and getting some information from her, and also giving you guys some information while we're here, while we do what we do, our lineup, and how we get to Sunday, because we don't just start out shaming people. Right. We don't just approach it like, here's what we need to do. Just get on here, pull up some videos of people doing crazy stuff and talk about it. That's not our approach.
It's pretty calculated.
But being almost 100 years together, we seen things. We have daughters that have to pick husbands from this bunch, that have to coexist with women that live in this world. And we will not allow, on our watch, the children in our neighborhood, the children in our internet eyesight, and the children in our life to just think that we're not going to be the voice in the back of their head saying, listen, there's better decisions that you can make. There's better choices that you can choose. I asked you guys about a dunce cap. Let's take a look at it, Miss.
Did you know the dunce cap was once the sign of high intelligence? For decades, the dunce cap was a staple in classrooms for disruptive children and class clowns. But in the 14th century, it was the mark of a brilliant mind. Philosopher John Duns Scotus became famous for his complex theories on existence and religion, gaining a following of fellow scholars who became known as Dunsmen. He was also well known for the pointy hats he would always wear, believing that the pointy hat worked like a reverse funnel of knowledge, flowing into the tip and spreading to the brain below. When he died in 1308, his followers continued to wear the pointy hats to show their knowledge. As time progressed, the Dunsmen were viewed as people who were behind on the times. They were considered not smart enough to keep up with the changing worldviews. Thus, the Dunsman became a sign of idiocy.
So that was a dunce cap.
Interesting.
Didn't start out as a sign of idiocy, but became one. Became a shame tactic.
Because they didn't want to change and grow and evolve in others' eyes in the new society coming up, right?
Indeed. So let me ask you something else, Mrs. Harris. You ever heard of this saying? Clean underwear if you get hit by a car. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys heard of this saying. It might not have been said to you, but you may have heard someone say it. My grandmama lived by this right here.
Right.
You better have clean underwears on just in case something happened to you.
That too. And for me, it was socks.
Okay.
Because you never knows whose house you have to go in and take your shoes off.
And it could be a reflection on your family.
Absolutely.
A reflection on your upbringing.
Because it was many houses. There were many houses coming up, you know, and I have to say that being a latchkey kid was awesome because I got to be in so many different kinds of homes. I got to see how so many different people live. So even if I didn't get it from TV, just picking and pulling from different parts from each family that I adored and admired, you know, and modeled the love that they shared, just loving me enough to let me come in.
Oh, man.
Oh, thank you.
Let Nikki in, man. Let Nikki in.
Thank you for feeding me.
That's Nikki.
Thank you for loving my mama and loving her children, because my brothers were all welcome too. You know, if I got a friend, they got a friend. And that's what was real important. You know, they didn't just love me. They welcomed my brothers too. You know, if they needed to spend the night, they was welcome to stay to spend the night, you know. So it was always an awesome thing for my mom to have that much support. So shout out to all of them, you know. So the shame sits, you know, I can't disappoint these people, you know, who helped me survive growing up as a kid. I can't disappoint y'all.
Indeed.
I really can't. Not with my kin and not where I came from, you know. So it's very important for me to allow other children and young people to know that you can change. Regardless of where you came from, you can be that rose that grows through the concrete.
God damn.
You can be it. But you have to know that the foolish and bad behaviors of your past, as well as your parents, you can change that.
Indeed.
But you have to be the change. You have to know that you want to do it and do it. Do the work. Can't nobody else do it. Sitting on your couch watching us all day is not going to get it done.
Indeed.
Just saying, put the damn phone down and do the work.
There you go. Don't forget to put hashtag shame or hashtag LIA25 in the chat so that Nightbot can promote your channel. I think hashtag LIA25 is up and running for tonight. I'm not sure. Nikki, you can give it a shot in the chat if you want. And you guys give it a shot in the chat as well. Hashtag LIA25, because I've been with this beautiful shaming lady for 25 years. She's been shaming, and I've been a part and been able to witness. Underwear. Let's take a look.
When they say you should wear clean underwear in case you get hit by a truck, I'm sure when you die, don't you lose all control and you crap yourself? So that the clean underwear is irrelevant.
Why is there a reluctance to wear clean underwear if you don't get hit by a truck?
It should be wear clean underwear.
Yeah.
Full stop.
End of story.
they cut it off anyway, don't they? If you have an accident, they get scissors and they cut your clothes off. So if anything, you're going to have an accident, put on your worst pants.
You're taking a bet on a date there, aren't you? So wear the good ones for the girl, the bad ones for the emergency room. Got the wrong pants on. Hit by a car. Yes.
I think that was all about shame. Again, you gonna pull your pants anyway. They're gonna cut them off with scissors anyway. It's gonna be covered in tire tracks and skids anyway. So that was about your household. You better not be outside and they see doo-doo in your drawers when they pull them off. That's a reflection on our house. And I had a grandmama. I was raised by my grandmama. I tell you, my mama was out of here quick. So my grandmama said, you bet not have on dirty underwear. She said, you bet not beg for money. She said, you bet not ask for no food when you go to somebody's house. Because all of that is a reflection on me. They think I'm not feeding you. They think I am not treating you right. I'm not giving you the things that you need to have when you out there. And that was all shame. That had nothing to do with me. She didn't want to look bad.
Right.
Let me ask you a question. If you got a phone call, y'all, from the school, was you in trouble?
Absolutely. Yes. I was in trouble.
Because I was in trouble if that phone call
It might not have been a
whooping,
whooping, but definitely a reprimand. We're going to see what's getting to the bottom of this.
Yeah, we was getting to the bottom.
Girl, shut your damn mouth.
Is that B9 in the house? I think that's B9, baby. Is that B9?
Yes. Welcome.
Am I the meanest? Am I the prettiest? Am I the baddest mofo low down around this town? I can't hear you.
B Nizzle was good, my guy. Danique checked in. He said, early in life, leaving the house, I was told a few times, you better look like you belong to somebody. I now understand it clearly and crystals. Absolutely, Danique. She get the spit, wipe it out your eyes. All of that. You got Vaseline on your face, boy. You better put some Vaseline on your face. Walking outside this house.
So we the generation that looked at our parents like something was wrong with that. You know, making sure that you were oiled up. You didn't go out looking all ashy and your skin looked moisturized. You understand what I'm saying? You got boogers and stuff all in your eyes, and you got clean drawers.
Dirty little son.
Because that was something too in our neighborhood, the wedgies, man. So you get a wedgie so bad that they rip your drawers. So you definitely don't want to have, drawers with stains in it. Because
you don't want that.
That's even more of a thing, I'll just say.
Oh Lord. Yeah. Y'all was something in
He's
Queens.
bad.
But yeah, man, you can't ask for no money outside.
Oh no.
Sir, can I get a
You
quarter?
begging?
We had a game
Begging?
room on the. Let me get a quarter, man. Yeah, no. Food in people's house. You want some? Nah, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good.
I mean, just a shame, we couldn't be homeless. I couldn't be out begging. Like that was not okay. Begging?
Right.
Now we was latchkey kids. So I'm going to somebody's house to eat. I'm coming to your house. You want to eat, baby? Absolutely. Please. You need me to wash the dishes. You know what I mean? But that begging, yeah, nah. Like you said, you better not be out there.
Okay.
Begging.
Okay.
But then again, I'm a girl. So you don't want to be out in the world asking for things because you asked the wrong man. He's going to want something for that money.
Yes.
So I was definitely told that, don't smile at everybody. Don't show your teeth to every guy you meet. I'm just saying. No pain, no gain.
Oh, that's right. She says, no pain, no gain. Okay. Okay. Mrs. Harris, we asked the question. Have they seen our lineup? Right? Right? It consists
I don't know
of,
if they know it goes in a flow.
He said, she said, Love and Abundance on Thursday.
Yeah. We was growing up, you in the house on Thursday at 8:00 to see that favorite show.
Why Thursday at 8:00?
Because most of the favorite shows came on that day.
Thursday. That shit has you in the house.
Word.
So yeah, we definitely picked that methodically because we thought it would be nice. Thursday, Thanksgiving, it usually falls on, really nice holiday times, and it gives us an opportunity to sit down, collectively reflect on the year. And again, just thought about it as a couple, as a tandem.
Yeah.
But Saturday, we go to Cerebral Saturday, which is a little different.
It's definitely a little different.
Right?
Definitely diving deep in thought.
We approach that with a certain exuberance, right? With a certain je ne sais quoi. And we approach that intellectually because we want to leave the emotion. We want to leave the back and forth.
Leave that for me for Sunday.
We want to leave that for her for Sunday. But Sunday is Sunday. We get to Shame Sunday, which is all yours. That's your baby. And on Sunday, it's the first day of the week. Starts your week, and you take it from there.
I mean, and not just that, our kids are growing up. We are not perfect parents by no means. So it was absolutely a window to open up more dialogue because we do have one that's 22.
Right.
So, there's some struggle in communication at times, when she was struggling coming into being an adult, so having this platform on Sunday and, building with them, a little bit throughout the week and me go in on Sunday, even if they're not watching it, they hear me, they know what's happening, and they understand their mother. You know what I mean? So it's a respect thing. So just to see that dialogue opening up more and more with them, and we've been building so much more, and I appreciate that, so I definitely think that they honor us as parents and what we've tried to do and try to instill in them. So, it just makes me push even harder. Because if it can get my one in line and understand it, you need to be focused and purposeful in this life. And it's you. It takes you. Like we can't do it all. We can't puppeteer our children, right?
Indeed.
Some people do, but it turns into a disaster. We don't want that. And I've always told them that. I want you to take full heed of your life and be purposeful in it. Only you know what you want. We know what you're very capable of. Like we can push you to do a lot of stuff, but it's on you.
True indeed. See Karma on the check-in. What up, Karma?
Hey, Karma.
We talking with the Mrs.SheSaid from Shame Sunday. And we're going to take a look at the Mrs. at work. Because when she go to work, she definitely go to work. I'm not going to front. When she clock in,
do something about that, because everybody is not taking care of their stuff. So if it does not apply to you, let it fly. But a lot of you chicks out here, you're delusional.
So let's take a look at the Mrs. at work.
Mothers. This is not okay. You're not supposed to do that. That's not okay, and tell them why. It's inappropriate. It's not the kind of adults we got. We got these kind. That's why y'all want to have babies, to do that? You want to do that with your daughters? Or you want to be compared to being just as sexy as your young daughter? Fucking idiots. That right there is shameful. If you have that mentality, that's a shameful mentality. Let your child be a child. You had yours. And if you messed it up and you didn't enjoy it, that's on you.
This is a work of art.
That is sad. I see a lot of that. A lot of you grown-ass women. I'm 46. I got a 22-year-old daughter, and I'll be damned you see us doing some twerking and TikToking and partying or drinking or smoking or doing any of that together. No. Stay in your lane. Grow old. Be graceful. Be a fucking lady. Gonna teach them something. Teach them everything. But y'all neglecting to teach them to be graceful and have some fucking temperance. They think it's all about them. They're the prize. They're the most intelligent. They don't need to grow or learn anything. Wow, you're setting them up for failure. To be alone. To mishandle their reproductive system. And think they can just magically manifest a man and a fucking baby and then don't want to take care of it. Shit is amazing to me.
Well, okay. Shout out to Mrs.SheSaid on TikTok. Her TikTok be moving like crazy. That one had about 10,000 hits. A lot of comments, so they probably still coming. But what do you think about that clip I just played?
Oh man, I mean, I appreciate my Shame Sunday because I honestly get to be as masculine as I want, because it's always been embedded. I grew up with a lot of boys. You know, I'm an extremely feminine woman, but if I gotta build with other women, you know, it's like men. You know, if we gotta get a little hot, it's gonna get a little hot. I'm not gonna back down. I ain't, you know what I mean? Like, so, you know, my message sometimes it needs to be hot. You gotta hear me, and you know, for some people they need to hear it like that. My children don't need to hear it like that because we've created a particular type of dialogue of understanding. So they've never gotten it like that. So when they hear me go hard like that, they don't want it. They don't want that because they should know better, right? So it's our job to teach these types of, moral compass and values and standards and, discipline and manners, all of that early, and I feel like we're failing. So I have no problem pointing it out and shaming it. Damn. This is what it is. I
am here to do some good old-fashioned slut shaming. Yeah!
I hear you. I appreciate you. You definitely do the work, but it's never a lack of information. And I think that is what amazes me, that it's not hard for you to grab these clips of inspiration of what to do, what not to do. There's so many instances of shame, and we're going to continue to go back into the time machine. But let's take a look at what we're talking about in present day.
Most of the shootings are young black men killing other young black men. Is that not correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Much more than what the cops do. Why doesn't anybody talk about that? Well, I mean, why aren't there, 100 giant black celebrities who would have the respect of those people saying, what are you doing to yourselves? Why are you killing each other?
This is no way to live. This dishonors our community. Come on. We're better than this.
Right. I feel like it's never addressed.
And what I would want to observe is that any structural move that you want to make requires a majority of the people to get behind it. Requires democratic politics to get behind it. And in order to get a majority of the voters in Chicago or any place else to get behind anything that's going to cost them money, they have to feel safe. They have to feel that the people who are in charge are on their side. And that's why Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson needs to come and give speeches in which he says this is contemptible behavior. We won't tolerate it in our city. The reason we have cops is precisely in order to stop this from happening. And if you do it on my watch, you're going to go to jail. He needs to say that in order to get the white taxpayers in the city not to move out of the city and to get behind whatever structural program a clever man like Danny comes up with.
But, I mean, okay, so I also read this week in the paper, one in 3 children in America cannot read at a basic level of comprehension. 85% of black students lack proficiency in reading skills. We already spend a lot of money on schools. So you're going to keep telling me more money will fix this? Because I feel like this is much more connected to the problems of people who can't read. Yes, they're going to have problems with gainful employment. And it seems like, a lot of times the solutions that come from the left seem symbolic. They don't seem like we're actually addressing what really needs to be done, is get kids learning, get them reading, get them able to have a job.
Shame. Y'all heard it. The kids in Chicago cutting up. Where's the people to say, shame? He asked about celebrities. Why is there no one telling these kids, shame? You need to stop. You need to want more for your future.
Because it ain't theirs.
We got cities calling for shame. Shame on the cops, shame on the politicians, shame on the governor, shame on the assemblymen. They're all neglecting. Is it neglect or is it ignorance? Either way, shame.
And just hearing all of that, like, we sit here and we hear them blame the city and the mayor and no, it's you parents. It's your fault. Them your kids. Your kid can't read. That's a problem. You don't have no accountability with that. I'm so confused. They don't go to school till they're 5. You had 5 whole years with them and they do shit. And you expect them to go to school and pick it all up and absorb it in a year, in 2 years. It's not that easy. It's really not. You know, and I saw that growing up again. It was hard. School, the same schooling that we got, they're going. If your kids go to public school, they're absolutely getting the same bullshit. So being intentional with the kids, I mean, really, it was like school up in here before they went to school.
Before school, after school, weekends.
Had a regular routine. We gonna write. We gonna learn these phonics and letters and sight words, days of the week, months, all of that. Most of these, and they don't know. They don't know how to read. It's amazing to talk to a lot of these kids, but they can TikTok.
Daddy think he Malcolm X. Then you're gonna get all type of black knowledge.
Oh my goodness!
After you learn white man knowledge, you're gonna get all type of black knowledge after that.
And just structure, you know, and they crave it. Because when times where we, you know, didn't have some structure, they would misbehave. And it's like, oh, no, what is going on here? Okay, now we need to get this list. We're going to get this chart. We got to get this, got to switch it up.
Take those electronics away.
It takes us.
Putting
switch
up charts,
it up.
Maps. Now.
Oh, my goodness. Not playing. Because I don't want to have to whoop on you. You know what I mean? So let's change our behavior so we can try to change your behavior.
I mean, we look at shows, pet shows, people who own dogs.
Absolutely.
We look at Super Nanny, people who own children.
Wife
and
swap.
It's never the actual thing. It's always
the owner or the parent. Oh, man.
So when we say shame and focus on behaviors, it's because when you have a child, it's no longer about you. It is no longer about you.
Are we the last generation of that? Because I don't know if these new people think that. Like the young man said in that video, do they know? Are they aware that it's foolish and bad to put soda mixed with water in a baby's bottle and give it to them?
I mean, I don't know. Let's ask this young lady right here.
It's and that's what you get every day when you messing with me.
No, fucking with me.
It's messing with me. Don't say that.
No, fucking with me. You got nobody to give you something and no candy. No bitch. No bad words.
Don't say no bad words. You say messing with me when you hear that song.
Fucking with me and messing with me and no bad words.
Don't say bad words.
Yeah, I do.
Mommy don't like that. Mommy don't like when you say bad words. You say messing with me.
Okay, you gonna say bad words.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna say good words. Yeah.
No,
say that's what you get every day when you messing with me.
You do.
You say messing with me.
Fucking with me.
Shame. Now y'all telling me that young lady don't need some good old fashioned slut shame?
I am here to do some good old fashioned slut shaming. Yeah!
Let's bring them back and go through it piece by piece. While I bring her up, Mrs. Harris, what do you got to say about that?
It amazes me how, we push the record button to show how ignorant our children are by mimicking us, right? Because she's her mother's child.
She is.
She's played this song an abundance of times around this child when there's a clean version.
In abundance.
Like there's a clean version. I specifically have to go on Spotify and whatever I pull up, hip hop clean. If the child is around.
Why she gotta listen to Tank while the baby around?
Inappropriate.
Though?
I mean, when we listen to Super Freak, we listen to some songs, right?
Our kids read books though.
No, I'm talking about when we was growing up, the songs that we grew up listening to.
Us particularly
right.
True, but we didn't grow up in the most productive, positive fashion. Did
So
we?
we knew not to play it around ours, right?
We don't even gonna. Yeah. Let's.
Why that baby know that song?
Right. Why you playing?
That's why they can't read
around the baby. Exactly, because there's no prioritizing reading. The prioritizing is the tingle. Prioritizing is sex. I'm gonna keep it funky with y'all.
And it's a shame that, baby knew mommy was lying. It's about, no, mommy's gonna say good words. Like, no, you're not.
And again, mommy got to speak about future context, because she can't say, no, you don't hear mommy speak like that. You don't hear mommy use words like that. She got to say, no, I'm not going to speak like that. She's making an agreement with a 1-year-old because she's damn near.
You get every day when you messing with me.
No, fucking with me.
It's
Yeah.
First off, no authority. No, bitch. Fucking with me.
See, this is a ploy for likes, because you picking this phone up in this time of correction. Why do you need to record it? Even if you record it, why post it? Like, if you post it, you give us room to critique. Anything on, it's room to critique.
And we really get people that say you shouldn't shame on Sunday, or shame never existed in our community, or has shame ever worked? Why you asking us? Why are you asking her? She didn't put the word in the dictionary. She just read it, used the definition to apply it in her approach on telling women that ain't never been 46 before. But she has been 25, 35, 36, 37.
Made foolish and
that maybe you won't have a child that's talking about no bitch.
Messing with me. Don't say that.
No, fucking with me. You got nobody to give you something and no candy.
Okay. Damn, she telling it all. You ain't got nobody to give you nothing.
And no candy.
And no candy.
No candy. That's the innocence of kids. That's what she wants to be about. She wants to be about candy and rainbows and lollipops and unicorns. That's what she wants to be about.
But mommy done introduced to Tank.
Fucking with her and Tank taking his shirt
off.
off.
Awesome song. Shout out to the song.
Awesome concert.
But you know what? Parental advisory is a concern. And y'all are not taking it at all. These kids listen to so much ratchet music and they can't read. I can see if they can read, and they were on some type of even elementary level math literacy. But a lot of them across this country are not. We are like 56 in the world right now.
Talk about it.
As far as education,
can't read
and
at
literacy. Come on, man. Y'all busy going to get these degrees and your kids are freaking failing. It's amazing. Huh? Are you succeeding in college while your child is failing in school? I'm confused. We got to get our priorities straight.
Absolutely.
How much more money are we really getting on top because of that? But whatever. That's a whole nother. Focus on these kids. Because I wake up almost 3 days of the week with, the news telling me how stupid the damn kids are in our society and how the education system and the schools are failing them. But we keep sending them there. And it's new people coming up raising their kids who have newborns. Like, teach your babies.
Indeed.
Look in their face and articulate words, literacy, phonics, find important things that's going to stimulate their mind. Interactive. Do not sit them in front of a screen for stimulation. You are to stimulate their mind. We got to change that dynamic, finding some honor in being a mother.
Indeed.
A parent.
Indeed.
What you
I
got?
dropped the link in the chat. If anybody want to come through, show some love. If you want to come through, ask the missus a question about Shame Sunday. Ask us anything about our platforms, our approach, what was our thought process coming up, anything of that nature. Yeah. Feel free. Be prepared to stay on topic, please. We would love to get this done in a, very considerate amount of time. Yeah. So let's bring fucking with me back and keep it going, because this is a shameful mother. Shame. And I have no problem saying it, and I'm very unapologetic.
No bitch. No bad words.
Don't say no bad words.
Does that sound authoritative to you?
No, not at all.
Sound like she mean it to you? Sound like
And to
next
me,
month?
you know, like I said, sometimes it's hard to do this correction to your children when you know you have been the poor influence. You have been the bad model. You know what I mean? Like I can't pop you in anger, you know, or frustration or any of that because I taught you. You know that you taught that.
Indeed.
You know what I mean? So she absolutely didn't sound like authoritative.
Warriors in 6. We got the Warriors in 6 in
Warriors
the
and
building. What's
sixes
up,
in the
man?
building. Warriors and sixes in the building.
What up, fam? Long time no hear.
Yeah,
We
man.
miss you, brother. How you
Shout out.
doing?
Hey, what up, bro?
Man, I be tired as a Mississippi slave, and I be trying to stay up, but I be like, I gotta get up. I can't do it.
We just chopping it up, man. We talking with the missus. I got her up here. She did an interview with a young lady about Shame Sunday, did a little bit of explanation, and we just wanted to give further explanation and give anybody any opportunity to come up and do what they do. But how you doing, man? What's up with you? What's new?
The date. That's about it. Same old. Same old.
Well, you looking good.
Yeah, you man, always looking good, especially in that Adidas. That my Adidas, New York City, baby.
Literally,
Represent.
What it is.
Represent.
So what do you think about Shame Sunday, about the missus and that Shame Sunday that she has? Do you think it's a little too harsh? Do you think that, you know, it's right on or something different?
I can say this. I haven't been like involved as I normally was, especially on Sundays, you know, because I be in here cooking dinner, wife at church. But I'm at church, but I'm gonna check it out Sunday.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Do you think that women, mothers, should be being shamed for behaviors that may be undesirable, unfavorable to the production of their children? Or do you think people have no right to say anything to anyone about anything?
Like sis just said, if you put it out there, then you have, like, you put yourself out there to be critiqued on it, right? So if you want to keep it private, keep it private. But if you just putting it out there and you're doing shameful acts, or your children are doing things where you just wag your finger, like that little girl on there just cussing up a storm and her mom's like, no, say messing. Well, then play the song that says messing, not fucking. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
So like, don't expect the chat. Like y'all was just saying, we grew up on certain songs, but we wouldn't dare sing in front of our parents or just repeat it and then try to correct them. Like, no, fuck it with you. You know what I mean? No, might get punched in the throat. Like, it's just not going down. But man, look here. Sis was saying, I think we are the last generation of like true parents. You know what I mean? Like, it's that thin line of where now you hit your kids, you're going to jail. Fuck, the kid just shot 3 people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No, you shouldn't have hit him.
I got
But
you.
he just shot 3 fucking people. So we can't really parent without being shamed, or you hit your kid, or you did that. So I don't know, man. It's a slippery slope. I'm just glad mine's are grown and damn near grown.
Yes,
but not
indeed.
just that, you know, we've known you, he's known you all his life, but I've known you 25 years and I've watched you be a great dad, 3 awesome kids, and you know, your nieces and nephews and all of that. You just spank them.
Yeah.
You have not had to spank, you know, so there's ways to discipline and love and nurture our children to create decent, at least good adults in society. You know what I mean? So, you know, we just got to find better ways. And we know some of the things that our parents did not work. You know, it didn't work. It didn't help. So, you know, use that as a blueprint of what not to do, you know, versus repeating that same cycle.
Indeed.
Welcome, brother. Who we
Shout out
got
to
in?
Simon.
Simon is on the
check-in. What
check-in.
up,
Welcome.
Simon?
Welcome, Simon.
Yo. Can you hear me?
Yep,
Yes,
we got you,
yes.
man. You sound great. How you doing?
All the way across the water.
Yo, I've been trying to get up here for a minute. I really appreciate you guys, man. I don't know how much I can say in terms of, I had a 10-year marriage. And what I see with you two is exactly what I was living. And it's far and few between. And this is the problem out here, But we are human. So at the end of the day, you get what I mean? Not everyone's going to be able to do that sort of thing. I think it's very underappreciated in terms of, the knowledge that it takes to hold up a relationship. Like, for real. Like, to live with somebody, put up with their sweaty socks on the floor. You know what I mean? Like, their discrepancies, or, it's just so, it's so much that nobody really realizes it. And that's why when people try to formulate these relationships, I'm not gonna throw you off the subject. I'm gonna come back to that in a second.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I'm just saying, like, when people try and formulate these situations where they want to be in a relationship, it's such a hard talk because people are so in themselves. Like, if they had their own house or whatnot, it's always about me. That's not the world. The world is not made up like that. The world is not made up to be about me. It don't make no sense for people to be out here talking about me all day long. It's about us.
Yes.
Listen.
That's not being taught. This is why we're here.
Right.
It's not being taught. The last few generations of mothers are my kids. Don't say nothing to my kids. I'm gonna F you up if you say or do anything to my kids. So to some degree there was no balance. So the kids, it was a lot of control. Like, a lot of women use the children as possessions. I've seen it.
And I heard
it's still happening.
I heard the younger people say something that was very, very pivotal. We are consumers here
Absolutely.
in America, and we look at relationships as transactional consuming. We have to get more than what we paying. We have to get a deal. We have to get a sale.
I want more than what I'm going to give.
One up on the other. And that approach alone, where you have to be the person that one's up the other, is just horrible to look at love, to look at trying to live with another person and thinking that approach is going to gain you success is just really hard, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Let's do this. Let's bring baby girl back and finish her up, because I got a little bit more information. And I want to ask Simon a question. We're going to come to you when I come back, but let's finish baby girl up.
Yes, sir.
You say messing with me when you hear that song.
Fucking with me and messing with me in no bad words.
Don't say bad words.
Yeah, I do.
Mommy don't like that. Mommy don't like when you say bad words. You say messing with me.
Okay, you won't say bad words.
First of all, daddy wouldn't tell you what he like and what he don't like. Don't say that.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we're going to go any further than that. But if you ask me why, it's because I said so. It ain't about what I like and what I don't like. And this is the point that I make. I'm never trying to be insensitive, but it just is what it is. Something that y'all like in January, you may not like in February. Then you may like again in March.
Right.
And that's just the temperament and the emotional fluctuation of women. But with daddy, it ain't like that. It's don't do it because I said don't do it. You did it. Now you punished. It's no fluctuation.
Right.
And like she just said, you don't say it. Now we going, she's bargaining with a 1-year-old.
Right. Straight.
You don't say it.
Negotiation time.
Right.
So
Like
for her.
Cause she told her, you ain't got nobody bringing you no candy, mommy.
How does mommy come back from that? Let's go with you first, Simon. How does mommy come back from that?
what I can only say to you is you have to be very careful how you step with women when they talk. Women are very good at talking. Like their whole thing is like that's like a specialism. It's not even something that's a qualification or a certification.
Yes.
It's
Come on
women are perfectionists when it comes to talking. Like we can't mess with them as men. Like, and the thing about a lot of these men that are out
I work in videos, but really I want to be my own star in the videos because I want to become a pop singer and a rock singer and write my own songs, produce my own songs, and then I want to try an actress because people tell me how talented I am.
That's them.
Yeah.
That's them,
Just
Simon.
because they talk a lot and exaggerate explanations does not make it the truth, make it realistic, or make it sound smarter.
You continue, Simon.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I don't, but I do also digress to an extent, like in terms of, like, I don't necessarily think they're doing it on purpose. I just think that's their purpose, and men get a bit twisted, like in terms of we try to align the masculine and feminine purpose, which does not necessarily align all the time. And this is why we don't get our shit straight. We're trying to, you know, we get into a relationship, you try and make a woman a man, or get on your level playing field. Like, oh, I do this. This is how shit rocks. I got my job. I got my role. You got to get in line with me. And it's like, the woman's like, I don't know if I can do that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh,
I mean, he has to present her with, you know, a purposeful, you know, something that looks like something she wants to sign on to.
Okay.
You know what I mean? She ain't going to be questionable about what her role is if it's enticing enough and he's showing improve, because you can say anything.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
let me ask you this, Simon. Do you have any questions for the missus about the shame topic, about why she chose her approach or anything of that nature in regards to her program?
Oh boy. Okay. All right. This is going to be kind of controversial.
Nah, you got it, man. This is her time. She's in the hot seat right now, man. So go ahead, man. Give it to a baby. Give it to a baby.
You're talking to Mrs.SheSaid.
Why did you choose shame?
Why? Again, the 8-year-old, you know, we're not guaranteed to be here. And I definitely needed to, you know, have some type of blueprint or, you know, visual message, because I write, you know, and I started writing like memoirs. So what best way to leave it now in video tutorials, you know, at any time in her life? If this is here 25 years later, she can go back and look at vaginal care or what it looks like to be a hoe, what not to do. You know, don't do this in parenting, or,
green
you know,
flags, my favorite.
Green flags, you know, especially that, you know, looking for the green flags in people that, you know, she's going to want to include in her life or exclude. If these people do not exist, these characteristics, you need to move on. You need to not make them a main source of energy in your life, you know, because we're not guaranteed to be here, you know, and the kids ain't going to be able to regurgitate our knowledge, you know, directly from us. So, you know, that was the main reason. So it really wasn't for, you know, subscribers or any of that.
And some people learn from what to do, and some people learn from what not to do.
Right. Which
so
was
depending on whatever type of person she ended up being in her maturity, if she needed a what not to do instructional, you know, certain weeks, certain things you can pick up and learn from. If she wanted to learn what to do, if it's not, you know, packed inside of the nuggets that mom already gave her, maybe she can pull it up and get it from the suggestions that she leaves at the end, or certain videos that she leaves, or shorts. But this was pretty much a video documentary because we 50 years old, we pushed out an 8-year-old now, and we not going to always be here for her, Simon. So we wanted to leave some information.
Who 50? I ain't 50. Knock it off, man.
Look at you. Don't lie to these people.
Listen, you too, man.
Don't lie to these people. They like us, man. They like you, man. Be honest with them. Let them see what 50 look like. Let them see that, you know, life is.
Yeah, the most realistic thought that I've had, in my life is that, I'm not promised each day. I'm not. So I kind of wake up in the morning happy that I made it. I made it another day because there's so many people that didn't wake up, and I'm grateful for that. So each day is pushing it for us. We passed midlife, for our generation. Nobody's making it to 100 years old. You know what I mean? We only know to make it to maybe 70 if you're living. You got to eat healthy and, live purposeful in order to push past that 65, 70 stage. Because, your body shuts down, goddamn. It shuts down.
And shame has been around forever.
Absolutely.
Let's take another example of shaming. There was something called shunning, guys, where whether it was mental disabilities, it was developmental delays, it was a young girl getting pregnant before the time, but you could get in a car and be taken away and we never see you in the neighborhood no more.
Right.
That's so that you don't bring shame to the family. They don't find out that you were pregnant, that you have a developmental delay. Let's take a look at an example of that, and we're gonna come to you, brother Warriors in 6. We're gonna come to you first.
Is May Rose all right? She's doing just fine. Well, what about the baby? He's a biggin. He is a boy. Honey is a boy. Yeah, buddy. Let me see that boy. Where's that boy? Show me that grand boy. Sonny Dillon, I want every man in this camp on the line right now. Right now. Right now. I mean right now. Bring him out here. Let me see him. Hope not. There was somebody in this camp. I can feel it in my bones.
Daddy, give me my baby back. Let's get going. Come on, honey.
Yeah. What did May Rose do? She got her ass in that car. And she left never to return again.
I mean, and they did that back in the day. They would take them away to somewhere, give birth, and get the child away, and then they would pick them up and bring them back home. And they would know
Again, to not bring shame to the family's name.
Shunning. Yeah.
I disagree. I mean, I don't think it's shame.
Okay.
And,
what do you think it is?
I don't know. I mean, as I said, like I'm kind of controversial, so I don't want to bring shame to your channel. I'm just saying, like those white girls, they were part of why we as Black Negroes got out of the slave trade to an extent, because they were emotional, and the white men weren't. Like the white men used to literally grape our sisters.
Okay.
Where the white women had an emotional connection. And that's not ever spoken on.
They was getting raped too.
Okay.
They were getting raped by who?
By their husbands or whoever. Women weren't
All right,
back then. All
so
women being raped.
All right, let's have a conversation. So
But go ahead.
Nah, let's have a conversation. That's cool. So what you said were they were getting raped by their husbands, right? So that was their choice, or not. Maybe they had to get into a marriage and whatever, but they were in that place in the plantation, in the house, and they were the wife, but they didn't have to actually interact with the Negroes per se, and have interactions with them. But the white man had a choice. Like he could actually literally have a choice. And this is the thing about marriage and relationships.
Mm-hmm.
The black man has a choice. They can dictate what actually happens in a marriage. There's a difference. Whereas a woman does not have that sort of facility. She can't turn around and, go, okay, unless she, chooses to exercise her wit outside of the marriage, where the man has no knowledge of that. And that's where men get a bit twisted, because they think women are a bit stupid, but they're not. Like they will totally exercise their wit when it comes to, I need to get out of this or whatever. So what we had in the slave trade,
Warriors in six.
is a result of all of our light-skinned brothers.
Warriors in six.
Kind of hilarious.
Could you say
they're all
for us?
A result of the slave trade.
Okay.
Because without the black man and the white woman interacting, there would be no light-skinned brothers. But they're so proud of it.
Lord,
they don't want to talk about it.
We about to bid you adieu.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that contribution. Do you got anything for that? Warriors in six.
What was the question again, man? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we played a clip from Life, the movie with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence, and it was May Rose being drove off in the end of the clip, and I put up the word shunning, which was, exiling someone from the family because of the possibility of bringing shame to the family name. Simon took it somewhere different. Mm-hmm. We're gonna give him one more opportunity after this, and then we're gonna see where it goes after that. But what do you say? What do you say about the clip?
That was a real thing in that time, and probably still now. It's like you have a baby outside of your race into a family who's just racist, then yeah, like if the family has the means, and I'm just gonna say this, maybe not so much the mom, but if the dad is like, no, you know what I'm saying? Because 9 times out of 10, it's probably the dad who makes that choice where no, she has to go and send her to wherever. She just can't be here. Type deal. That's the real thing, man, and it has happened, and it, like I said, it probably still happens now. Like, like you said, you get shunned upon within your family not to bring shame to your family name. You know what I mean? Like, it's not right, but that's just what people do.
Okay.
When you say shunned, what do you mean?
So shun is like exiled, sent away, because of wrongdoing, because of, again, bringing shame, and possibly never to return again.
And you might not necessarily have to be sent away, but let's say the next family barbecue, yeah, you're invited, but folks is on the side talking about you.
Right. Well, that's kind of interesting. So, like, let's take it from this perspective. You shame, right? So you shame someone. So you're happy with that?
Am I happy with that? When you say happy, no, happiness is not something for me.
So, okay, so you shame someone.
Mm-hmm.
You shame someone, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Are they in your back thought? Are you thinking about them, or are you just like, I've washed my hands, like I don't care?
No,
see, y'all look
I'm
at
always
shame
thinking
to a
about
whole
them,
nother
and it's
perspective.
not maybe not that approach, but I'm always thinking about them because again, shame wouldn't exist if I didn't think about them, if I didn't have a certain moral compass in my head on how we should behave as humans, what would be acceptable in society to other human beings that are trying to move in a positive fashion. So it's not about happiness for me because happiness is fleeting. And I can never take joy in pointing out your mindless and unconscious behavior. But at the same time, I'm not blind and I'm conscious.
All right.
So
So
I gotta point out.
are you taking like a superior stand in going, okay?
No, not at all. Because I'm not superior. So I wouldn't be able to take that stance. What I'm doing is pointing out behavior. I'm just observant, maybe more observant than someone standing next to me, but I'm taking no position or having a consensus on myself at all. It's not about me. It's about your unconscious and foolish behavior. And I'm pointing it out.
But people are foolish, right?
Every day.
So if you're in a position where you're able and you've been given this position to be in a superior position.
It's not superior. That's your mind. That's how you perceive it. And you have every right to do that. But with me saying that that's not the approach that I'm taking, and being that I'm not the high and almighty, so there's no way I can take a superior high ground to anyone. I'm a human just like you. It's 24 hours in my day, just like yours. I may read more books than you. I may hold things at a higher priority than you. And if I point that out, you can't use that as an excuse to say, I feel like I'm superior. I'm just playing.
Okay, so I'll tell you why it's different. And I'll tell you the difference why white people have a dominance over black people, because they don't think like this. The thing is wait, just give me a minute.
Sure.
Give me a minute. Just chill the fuck out. Like, yo, you see how we triggering people? Yeah, people are getting triggered right now. Okay. I'm just saying.
Words matter.
You fired, Cyber. You fired. Continue, sir.
No, we're talking. And we need these platforms to talk because it's very important. But I'm just saying the difference between white people and black people is like white people don't shame white people.
That's not true.
Very not true.
Now we're gonna have to bid you adieu.
No, we're not. No, we're not. Because he's actually talking into
nonsense.
The talking points. No, he's not.
Shame
what
white
I'm gonna
people.
say is I would beg to differ, and let's go ahead and let's put a pin in that and let's play a clip.
So what happens if an Amish girl gets pregnant before she's married? Somebody tagged me in a video of another ex-Amish guy talking about this, and he said that after their period of punishment, they're just considered married. That's not true. That's what got them in this trouble in the first place, was them considering themselves to be married. So in our community, this actually happened to somebody in my church district, and she wasn't that far along, so both her and her boyfriend got shunned for 6 weeks, and they were not allowed any contact. And then they had a wedding ceremony after they were reinstated into the church. It was considered a shotgun wedding, and the wedding ceremony was different than a normal wedding ceremony, where the young folk did not get to have a dinner date. It was just a lunch date. So basically it was the same as a normal wedding in Ashland, in a stricter community. But I know that in like Ashland and stricter communities, they didn't have a wedding ceremony at all if this happened. It was just at the end of a regular church service. They would get married with none of the bells and whistles, no food, no visitors. In some cases, they got married first, and then they shunned them if they were too far along, and that was a worry. but in most cases, they will shun them first and then have the shotgun wedding.
Was he white? Simon?
Oh, I don't know, man.
Simon, was he white?
No, I don't believe in like.
Yeah.
Shout out to Simon for being a dork, as usual.
We try. I try.
And the information is right. Again, he played right into the chessboard. Some people play checkers, other people play chess. That was a Caucasian fella, Amish.
Yes.
And they shun.
And he just said in his own words, this is why, and this is why we bid him adieu, because he always shows his true self. And true to form, we go ahead and let's go ahead and sign.
Yes, sir.
Style.
Wow.
So
Amish don't play.
They don't play. Like shun
rules.
the shit
There's
out
rules
of
to this shit.
What the hell? He said white people have dominance over black. What? No, they don't. Maybe you.
Yeah,
And he not from here.
Possibly.
He's not from America. So I'm not sure if you're privy to all that exists over
But
here.
you should
They absolutely
definitely
do
read.
shame. They
read
kick
more.
people. They invented disowning their children. The fuck?
They came up with the word nigger lovers.
Shame. Shame on white people for loving black people.
So
you know.
He should read more. That's what we would suggest. We are very cerebral, very intellectual over here. So we suggest that you read a little more before you come over here. And let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. Goofy, where you come from, Goofy? All right, we here with Mrs.SheSaid. We got Warriors in 6. Warriors in 6. It's not just women who display these characteristics. Let's take a look at this right here.
50-year-old man, black man in America that got some money. Let's see what that looks like. That checking in.
I check in with the real one. That's why I'm in the middle of old block. Where you at? You see the hoop? Where you at? I'm in the middle of old block, nigga. Fuck you mean? Listen, man.
Where the people's be, you know what I'm saying? Where the real people's be, man.
Shit you can't pay for. No rap cap. Shit you can't pay for. Fuck you mean? We really out here. Old block.
Stop it.
You know what it make me?
Hey, here's the thing.
What they own?
Here's the thing. He's a grown man around children.
Yeah.
Talking about, I gotta check in with these children,
Right.
so I'm safe around old block.
What the hell is this?
Look how corny do you look and sound.
Yo, Capo.
Okay, Cap.
The Bible is a real.
What the hell? He's 50 years old.
Yes.
Professional millionaire athlete.
I gotta go back to the hood to get looked up to.
Old block.
Get some accolades. Find one of them young tenders. Yeah.
Wow.
Young tender.
What you think about that Warriors in 6? He used to play for the Warriors too.
I honestly have no thought on that. Like, y'all said it best, man. Like why do you feel the need to do things like that? Like you said, you're a millionaire athlete. What else do you have to prove? Like, I get going back to where you're from, but like, if you're going back with millions, then do something with it, you know?
Indeed.
Do something with that money. Like, you don't have to spend millions, but you can donate to schools, get some new computers or books or whatever, but you don't have to be in the park. That's how old boy from Migos got killed, right? Going back home, hanging around the wrong people, and look. So.
Indeed. Indeed. Mrs.
And like
Harris?
you said, you know, to have these entertainers come from these types of communities and to not come back, and not build up their rec centers, not to build up their parks and take care of the communities. You coming to do what? Socialize. You're not coming to give back. It's the middle of the night. I think anything can happen. You know, you putting your life in jeopardy. You know, I hope you got all your business affairs intact because, you know, it's not guaranteed when you step up in there. Somebody just might be envious. These young people are completely desensitized and they will take your life.
Indeed.
With no hesitation.
But nothing.
And that comes from us parents. We didn't instill any value to human life. And they need to see that. So Shame Sunday will be here. They need to see it. Because what I see, you know, women do my body, my choice, and they create these lives and don't do nothing with them. And they think they are, you know, they need to have a view to say to them, you're not doing enough. You could be doing better. Don't be so dependent on the school to teach because they're a piece of shit. It's your job to be the first teacher. It's your responsibility. They need to hear that. And I'm glad Mom Dukes and your grandmother said that. Focus on family, yo.
Indeed. I mean, let's if you don't, you get behavior like this.
And I fought with Diddy.
And to each his own. I'm not mad. She nasty. She just ain't shitting on me. Ain't peeing on me. But it's somebody who want to be peed on and shitted on. It was on Biggie's first album, right? He said it.
Indeed.
Because he said it don't mean we want to do it. I'm just saying.
Right. You ain't peeing on me.
Ladies, women, this is what a bitch is. Okay. And then if you aspire to that, do you think? But women who aspire to be wives, this type of behavior is not acceptable. Unless you a dirty nasty bitch and you marry you a dirty nasty nigga. I'm just saying.
She said, pee in my mouth. Shit on me. And I'm gonna shit on no. Wait a minute. It's time to go.
Squat over your face and fart.
I mean,
right, like,
you know,
what did you eat?
The behaviors that are just so unsavory.
Like he said.
Wow.
Like if you had a salad or something, it might be acceptable. But if you had like a whole Chinese food, 4 wings and Suzy Q, get your thing.
You're wrong for that, baby.
Child.
Y'all stupid.
Creep on in, on
it. Y'all a mess. So check this out. The inner critic might tell you that you are a bad person, worthless, or have no value. The truth is, how deeply you feel ashamed often has little to do with your worth or what you have done. But the fact that you're just embarrassed that your actions were put on display. They were called out.
Right. So if it's discreet and in secret, nobody sees it, then you won't feel ashamed for it. But when somebody calls it out, it's a possibility.
Or like you said, if shame didn't reside in you, you wouldn't feel it.
Right. And I go back to the young man who said, some people don't have no shame. Like they don't understand that some behavior is foolish and bad, and they should feel some shame for it. You know, we're raising 304s. We're absolutely raising 304s. Nobody's raising wives to be cooperative and appreciative and respectful to a man. Not just black men. White women is disrespectful as hell.
It's true.
So, you know, we're not gonna.
So let me ask y'all a question, and everybody in the chat. Has the school ever called your house?
Absolutely.
Has your mom ever went up to the school?
Absolutely. Yep.
No, go ahead. Keep doing what you was doing before I walked into this class. Since you want to be a class clown. Matter of fact, stand up. Stand up right now and get in front of the class. We want to see you perform. So go ahead. Perform in front of everybody. I want to see what you do when I'm not here. Go ahead, make a fool of yourself in front of everybody inside this class. Oh, you didn't expect me to come today, huh? I'm waiting.
Shame. Now that may have been done to the middle brother because he was the clown. So
Okay.
you know. But yeah, that's embarrassing. I've seen it done.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I've definitely
me
seen
too.
it done.
Just like that, mom,
just
with the
like
house
that.
coat, no belt, she holding it closed, all of that.
Shame.
Who mama is that? What you think, Warriors in 6? You ever seen that?
Dude, not the house coat, but I don't know if y'all heard me, but like, you know, son, PS44 is literally the front door across the street from my house. So there is no hiding parent-teacher conferences, no PTA meetings, none of that shit. You can't hide it. If the light's on, she knows something. If the street light is on, let's say during the winter, where it's dark, right? Get dark early, street light on, and the school lights is on. Oh, it's a fucking meeting, and Mildred going to find out what the hell her son done did or her daughter done did last week, right?
True.
So,
Right.
and she used to always do, promise you, always just pop up, and you could tell who mom it is because it be me act like I'm writing, ain't writing shit, ain't paying attention all class. But as soon as I see mama at that door, nigga, I'm spelling.
You don't even want to look up.
Fragilistic expialidocious, nigga. I'm spelling that shit.
True indeed. True indeed. Nika's the night is on the check-in. She said, I ain't judging. If you like that stuff, find someone who likes the same. I hear you. Square Root say yes. What up, Square Roots on the check-in?
Hey,
Hope all is
welcome.
well. Hope you had a good week. We just chopping it up with the Mrs. Shame Sundays is what she does, and we just picking her brain, giving her flowers, asking her questions. Simon was up here, went really
Be wrong for that, baby.
left for a second, but we got it back under control. And we are back. OG Patrice is here. Hey, OG
Hey,
Patrice.
love.
Hope you're doing
Welcome.
well. Hope you had an amazing week. I'm sitting here with the missus, and she sat down with O'Shawn this past week. And we appreciate Sis O'Shawn for having Mrs.SheSaid up there. And we just wanted to put a little more meat on that bone, give people more understanding of the Mrs. approach, why she chose to do Shame Sundays and her whole mindset around that. And then give a little bit of meat on the bones as well about why we do what we do. Because we are here for a reason. We have a certain lineup. We come on in a particular fashion, and we hope that we are received as such. We would wish that someone would watch our show from beginning to end at least one time to get the whole gist of what we do and check our lineup and our approach. We don't just shame people. We don't feel we have the right to shame a person, but we can call out behaviors, being almost 100 years within the both of us. So that's, where we are right now.
It's a lot of observation.
And I want to ask you guys one more. Let's see. I want to know, have you guys ever thought about your legacy? What people will say about you to your children when you're no longer here? They see them on their way to the post office, on their way to the supermarket. Your mama was, your daddy was. Do you guys think about that? Let's start with you, Warriors in 6. Do you think about that?
All the time, my brother.
Is that right? And how do you incorporate that into your life and the way you live?
It just like try to stay as positive as I can, make people laugh, say, yo, your dad had me cracking up on this occasion or that occasion. I think laughter is the true cure for good health. If you laughing good, you probably living good. If you're sad, you're living sad, right? Sadness happens, of course, but just like God forbid if I died tomorrow, man, like, folks I know from New York know a different Muhammad from the folks that I've encountered down here. You know what I'm saying? Like, night and fucking day.
Absolutely.
And so as long as they can say, yo, he used to always, well, can't say, yo, he used to get on my nerves and always piss me off, blah, blah, blah. Something that would shine me in a negative light towards my children, my wife, if I have grandkids one day, you know what I'm saying? As long as it's always something positive. Now, I'm sure I've pissed a few people off down here. I'm sure, but it's more good than I just trying to make sure folks is happy. You know, say, yo, your dad helped me with this one time. You know what I'm saying? Just you know, so they know when they get older and have kids of their own, and they can think the same way. If I died tomorrow, what would somebody say about me? You know what I mean? And I feel like legacy is very, very fucking important because it's how your kids might want to try to improve on your legacy. You know, and so yeah.
True indeed, man. True indeed. Well said. Well said. Quantum checked in. Quantum said, I've been thinking about that recently. True indeed. Something to ponder. It helps me stay focused on my financial literacy and being my authentic self daily. True indeed. I dropped the link if anybody want to come up. If y'all have any questions, if you want to, you know, give a comment, critique, anything to the MISEDUCATION Sunday, anything about our platform, feel free. We're going to be up here for a couple of more minutes, probably till around 10:30. Mrs., it's on you. Do you think about people walking up to your children when you're no longer here and what they may say?
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. All the time. I know they would say, you know, kindness. You know, if anything, she was a bundle of love, tough love at times, many times. But yeah, the kindness thing, I think our children will say, you know, because they've even said growing up, why do I have to speak to people? Like, they didn't like it. You know, greet people. I just, you know, I can't look you in your eye and not say hello or good morning or respond, say, how are you doing? I don't just say fine. I'll say I'm doing well and I hope that you are too. You know, kind of shocks people because most people don't do that. But I consider what you say when you say it, it's just not in passing. You know what I mean? It's genuine. But I think that would be it. Kindness.
No doubt. No doubt. You know me, it's the same as your approach to shame. The same way I use it as a tactic, it's used against me. I walk with a certain consciousness of my family being my legacy. And when people walk up to them, I want them to say he was original. He was unique. He was organic. He was telling you what was on his mind. He loved y'all. Absolutely. These are the things. But, you know, just being a organic person, I think whatever stories come out of the person's mouth, if it's truly you, if it's authentically you, I think that's what the person deserves. And, you know, we owe it to ourselves to be ourselves. And like I said, when I see crazy behavior, this is no different than when I was a child. This is no different than when I'm on the court. This is no different than the neighborhood I come from. When we see some crazy shit, you say something about it. If you don't like it, then let's talk about it, man. I might have to swell your eye up and say some crazy shit about what you was doing. So, you know, it's just an opinion. Everybody's got one. And that's the thing. It's so one-sided when I have an opinion now and you have a problem with the way I addressed your behavior when I would have never said nothing if you didn't exhibit the behavior.
For that, baby.
It's the conversation we have with our kids. You really talking about me reprimanding you when if you didn't do it, I wouldn't have to reprimand you?
That's when you know better. Now, if you didn't know better, then we're gonna discuss it. But you know better.
And like I said, people have children. You have to understand that you want these children to be positive producers to society.
Right.
You want these people to be
at least kind and human.
Those things.
Respectful.
Coexisting with another person, maybe even a wife or a husband, a mother, a father, a grandmother, a grandfather, a brother, a friend to somebody else. And if we move moralless with no compass, what do we produce?
Same shit. The same shit.
Terrorists.
And we send our children to school. We cannot continue to send them to these places and not check on their development, not check on their well-being. I understand that not everybody can homeschool. I understand that. But at the same time, you can be more astute. You can be a student and let them know that you are serious about their education. You're serious about their well-being. And I'm going to be checking on your teachers, your work, your development.
Right.
Because if not, you get this.
What appears to be a seemingly normal start for this preschool classroom quickly turned chaotic. Former teacher James Cialino had been watching 10 kids in his class back in June when a 4-year-old girl left the room with another class. Jennifer Miller, the teacher of the other class, brings the child back into Cialino's classroom. Miller watched it all happen and proceeds to shut the door and leave.
The video itself has all the truth it needs in it. So as soon as you watch that or as soon as you see that, you know immediately what has to be done.
Director Lisa McMillian says a third teacher, seen in the red shirt, came into the classroom after the little girl got pushed to the ground. That teacher was not involved in this incident. Cialino then took the little girl to McMillian's office.
You just know something's not right with that cry. As a mom, you know when something is not right. As a director, I know all of those children and I know how they cry.
McMillian says she immediately pulled the surveillance video, fired the 2 teachers, reported the incident to police, as well as the little girl's family.
What the hell is this? I cried. I couldn't hold it. It was so heartbroken.
3 months later, the family is still struggling to forget the incident.
The guy just pushed her away like an animal, a little baby who knows nothing, who all she knows in life is just to play, eat and sleep. You push her down on her chest and she's lying down crying and you are still doing what you were doing. What a heartless man.
Both employees have been fired. Police have also charged Cialino with assault and child endangerment. Miller is also charged with child endangerment.
Shame. Shame.
Shame on those teachers that behave in that fashion with those little precious babies. Those babies come to learn. They don't come for that, to be assaulted. We don't send our children there to be assaulted.
And, you know, little people, they go about their day. They're not going to, you know, not all of them will remember to tell that that happened.
Shame on that teacher. And these are the
shame on the
educators.
teacher that was watching.
Walk
at
right
the
out
door.
the room. Right out the room.
Shame. You don't realize some of them think that they can treat your children any kind of way when you're not around. You know, their level of shame is, you know, different than yours. And if you haven't vetted and made them aware how you run your child or control or model behavior for your child, because you should dictate to them, right? How many times we had to go in and let them know how important manners was and, you know, kindness is exhibited, you know, so make sure you're a steadfast teacher with the rest of your children. You know what I mean? Because we're not trying to tolerate anybody
Yes, indeed.
Abusing our kids.
Shout out to Party Lime on the check-in.
Can't be playing around.
Appreciate you checking in. And this is gonna bring us to, you know, the video that kind of sparked our week. And we did a duet on this on our TikTok page. But let me see if I can find this video on our He Said, She Said, Love and Abundance group page on Facebook. Feel free to check in on that page. It's an amazing page. Conversation going on there. Always an amazing comment section. And I'm going to share a video right now from an educator that's going to give us a little bit of an insight on the children that she has to deal with, and a reason why the missus has an approach that she has. The reason why she does what she does is because the children pay the price. Not sure if you guys see the beginning of our show, but there's a brother that speaks about a lunar eclipse. And he also speaks about a social eclipse, when the mother and the father pass in front of each other and the children become unseen like the stars during an eclipse. They truly suffer when we focus on ourselves, when we neglect their well-being, and we do them a complete disjustice and injustice and disservice. Both of those. So let's bring this educator up and take a listen to what she got to say. Mrs. Harris, I want to hear what you think about this.
Is not because of teacher pay. And I will tell you why. I'm a band director, which means I get paid more than most teachers. It's an incentive to show up and stay late, for sure, but it's not enough. Even if every teacher in the state of Texas got a $10,000 raise per year, we would still be dealing with some of the same issues we're dealing with right now. Let me just tell you what I've been dealing with in the last 48 hours. There's a list. Yesterday, I broke up an assault in my band hall. Not a fight, an assault. A kid punching another kid in the head at least 4 or 5 times. Some mystery kid decided to get creative over the last 12 hours when I wasn't paying attention and literally took every single string off of every single French horn that we own, making them unplayable. I set up a drum set station for my percussionists. I was so excited because they have been begging me all year to play drum set. It took 24 hours for somebody to break the hi-hat. People stealing and using instruments that aren't theirs, even if it's in a locker. I had another kid hit somebody else in the face when their trumpet was on their face because they were blowing it in their direction. I had another kid in the same class flip me off and then try to lie about it. And before you come at me in the comments saying I knew what I signed up for, yeah, I do get it. But I've been told from multiple people on my campus that the band kids are the best acting, well-behaved students on campus, and I still have to deal with this garbage every single day. This is not a money problem. It's not an admin problem. It's not a parent problem. It is an emotional dysregulation problem. Never in my 13 years of teaching have I ever had such a problem with kids keeping their hands to themselves and keeping them from destroying property. I understand they're kids, and part of our job is to keep them regulated and to teach them how to do it. But I have repeated myself so many times this year. I have posted things on the wall. I've given them lectures. I've written them up. I've failed them. The corrective measures that we've used in the past do not work anymore. These kids do not care if they fail. They do not care if they're written up. They do not care if they get OSS. The only thing that most of them care about is how they're going to be entertained in the next 5 minutes of.
What you think about what you heard so far?
Sounds like the parents modeling behavior. How can I entertain this child for the next 5 minutes? You're not teaching, disciplining, setting some type of structure for these young people, instilling it. You know, once you get the foundation solidified, it's smooth freaking sailing. They kind of just fall right in line. If there's a regular, consistent schedule, even if the outside of your home is in disarray, as long as you keep that, they're going to be able to focus. But her, you know, not blaming the parents. No, it's absolutely their fault. These children should have some type of self-control, emotional balance.
Right.
You know, when they don't care, that means they lack self-care. Don't they realize in reality that they have a future that they're going to be moving into as an adult? You're growing up. You're not going to be 15 forever,
Indeed.
16 forever. So I feel like adults are creating a lot of a delusion for these young kids. I don't think they really grasp the reality of life and what's important, what's to be valued, you know?
Indeed. I mean, I just hear, like she said, they don't have a priority on things of importance. And that's completely the parents and what's instilled and put inside of those children to come to school to become scholars. And that's what's truly sad.
Right. To gain knowledge. Like that's the place you go. Not to exhibit every bad behavior you have tucked in your deck of cards.
Because
it's amazing.
Teachers come to teach. They don't come to monitor your child's behavior.
I knew that's where it was going. Okay. At 30, I'm 46. So 16 years ago, went to college, got a degree in early childhood education. So, you know, the years in there and them, the way they were teaching to teach me that it's my job to start to label these children, you know, because this is when they want to invoke, you know, giving the children the drugs and, you know, stimuli and IEPs and, you know, all of this. But I think each child needs an IEP, right? Because each child is an individual and they all need an individual assessment plan. They all need it because they're all different, you know, but we only use that for the children who have some developmental disabilities, to say, or behavioral problems labeled on them, you know, versus, let's say the parents had a lot to do with that. They didn't have any structure, any discipline, you know, exhibited a lack of self-control. You know, kids pick this stuff up. Indeed. And then we just throw labels on them like we didn't show them how to behave this way.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I got to give you a view on sometimes your behavior is why your children's behavior is the way it is. And if you checked it, especially when they're young, it may be possible for them to turn it around, but you have to correct yourself.
Absolutely.
In order for them to want to correct themselves as well.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
I mean, again, you know, we as parents, it's not fair to us and to other amazing parents out there that care about their kids' health, that care about their development, that there are these other laissez-faire parents that get to take days off, that get to clock out and not care about the well-being of their child. It's disheartening and it's insensitive and it's disrespectful.
Right. I mean, you don't realize the work that, you know, the children who want to break the cycles are going to have to do on top of the majority of the children who are not being taught to break these cycles.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. They're going to have to do a lot of work.
Absolutely. And especially when they have teachers like this.
Fired after a video went viral showing him slamming a student to the ground and shoving him out of the classroom.
And now police are investigating the incident with the possibility of charges being filed. ABC 7 News senior education reporter Leanne Melendez has the details.
The video shows the substitute teacher exchanging words with the student before grabbing and slamming him on the ground as other students watched in disbelief. The teacher then forces the student out of the classroom. According to the West Contra Costa Unified School District, prior to the incident, the student had made a racial slur.
There is no justifying it, but I just think he could have taken better precautions, like calling the principal or some authority. So I just think it was a bad move. I'll say that.
This parent, Irma Beltran, found the teacher's actions disturbing.
I'm feeling angry.
The incident has rattled Richmond High. Today, ABC 7 News was given cell phone video of a gathering organized by the Black Student Union. They addressed other students, denouncing the use of any racial slurs and also asking the school to ensure everyone's safety. Those who have been taught by the substitute teachers say he's liked by students.
He was a pretty cool guy.
We have to be mindful of these teachers, the schools and institutions that we send our children to. Everyone is not going to treat your child like you would.
Right. And I mean, you know, an FYI, substitute teachers do not have to have any formal certifications or degrees in education. They just need to really go through a background check and fill out applications to be a substitute. So, you know, they're not formal educators.
They don't have the coping skills. They are not formally
Some of them want to be their friends. You
with
know,
the
you just
mechanisms.
never know
Absolutely.
anyone's individual intentions with your children. So, you know, it's really on us to create a standard modeled behavior for the children to know what's acceptable and what's unacceptable.
Indeed.
You know, and you got to be steadfast with it. It is a daily action.
Absolutely.
It is a daily interactive situation when it comes with these kids. You know, correction is always needed. And we have to be mindful of ourselves too. I always tell parents early on to not create the dynamic of no with your children. You don't have to say no. You know, because I didn't like when my children said no, and I don't want to pop you, you know, because you hear me saying no all the time. It's just something you learn because you hear us saying it. You know, and they do it with emphasis too, right? Because when we say no, don't touch that.
Indeed.
Find other ways to articulate for them to not do something to change their behavior. Things that are hurtful, use the word dangerous, you know, so they understand that it's dangerous and something can hurt you.
Indeed. Well, Mrs. Harris, I really appreciate you sitting down with me and giving some information. We're gonna get ready to get you out of here and get your final thoughts. But you know, I always like to save, you know, my best stuff for last.
Okay.
And here in Baltimore, we had the pleasure of waking up in the morning and we get some inspirational information from one of our elders, right?
Yes.
What's his name?
Pastor J.P. Smith. Shout out to him, Baltimore City. He is always a breath of fresh air for me. Sounds like me in the morning. So it definitely gives me motivation to continue to do what I'm doing on Sundays because it's absolutely needed. Shoot. Kids are out of control, and you know, we have a lot to do with that. So we need to take our families back.
Let's take a look before we get out.
Standards and values are established in the family. When the family is undermined by politicians and their weak empowering children and neutering parents, when they rob parents of their authority to set boundaries for their kids, curfews for their kids, this is what you get. The inner harbor, you get donuts wherever, you get murders, and whether it's in a community or in a state institution, we're going to get more and more of that until we go back to the basics. Right. Family. And the reality is, anybody who knows that is trying to get out the city. So that will explain the decrease in the population. If I have a future, if I care about my children, if I care about my grandchildren, I'm trying to go where I can keep them safe and where I can parent them.
Let me ask you this, Pastor Smith. Not every kid is fortunate to have a family like that, and that's why the departments and facilities mean something to try and help them when there is no help at home. How can
What you think about him? Shout out to the pastor.
The pastor ain't no joke.
He put the emphasis right on the parents immediately.
Right. I mean, because we think we make regulations and, you know, we pose these curfews that the children are going to be in order when we know that's not true, especially here in Baltimore City.
Right.
During the pandemic, they were out of freaking control. And if a dangerous killer infection can't get the parents to keep their children under control, or the children even have some type of realistic control themselves, I mean, what can you say? So he's absolutely right. Nothing they do is not gonna, you know, stop these children unless the parents are having some type of consequences besides them losing their children to the system, to jail, or them being deleted. Because that's what's happens a lot here.
It does.
My goodness.
It does.
So, you know, I would have to say the children don't care because the parents don't care.
Shout out to Eater Man.
The parents don't care about themselves, neither less their children. I mean, you know,
it's not gonna happen.
It's not.
I mean, I'm completely in line with you, and like I said, seeing him, it seems like they talk to him almost every morning. It's like they know
they do.
That he is that cup of coffee that this city needs. So let's take a look at him one last time before we get out of here.
At home, children are given first to a family, not the village. The village will be no stronger than the family. The government and the institution will be no stronger than the family. We need to bite the bullet and do the obvious. Go back and invoke the values.
The values of family.
Mm-hmm. Got to invoke the values, but there is none. The value is the phone. Our kids value the phone more than they value the love of their mother or father. I'm not even gonna lie. Majority of them. Majority. If it don't apply, let it fly. Majority of your kids can care less about your goddamn ass. They want your money and the phone and the things that they can get from you. The little manipulating humans. And if you don't teach them value and honor, they won't have it. I mean, it is what it is. Things really need to be taught.
Indeed.
And it needs to be modeled. It's amazing. You can't be tell your children to be kind and they watch you be a bully, especially inside your home. Indeed. So, you know, it happens.
I mean, you guys have an amazing weekend. We will be coming at you this weekend with a Cerebro Saturday, with a Shame Sunday.
I got a shout out Kevin Jones for the Cash App.
Shout out to Kevin Jones for the Cash App. We appreciate you, family.
Thank you for the support.
We appreciate you.
We'll be here Saturday, Sunday, and next Thursday.
No.
One love. Appreciate the support.
Appreciate you, family. Let's go ahead and get to Mr. Simon. Shout out to you for the Cash App. We appreciate you.
Shout out to you, Simon. Thank you for the support.
Kevin Jones again, man. We appreciate you. No. The missus usually leaves her show with it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? Mm-hmm. Let's get our final thoughts and then let's get out of here. Mrs. Harris, thank you for coming through. Do you have any final thoughts you want to give to the people before we get out of here?
I appreciate you opening up your platform to a sister like me, just trying to spread some love and some knowledge. And some shame. Just bring a little self-reflection. Yeah, you know, come through, pull up on Sunday. I'm going to always have some type of reflection for you to see what I'm talking about.
True indeed.
You know, and if it don't apply, let it fly. And if it applies, you might want to look in the mirror, do some self-reflecting, and make that change, like Michael Jackson said.
Well, we appreciate you, yo. Like I said, I appreciate what you do. I appreciate you standing on your island, you waving your flag. I appreciate you and the rest of the ladies that do the work. And, you know, continue to do your work, man. Everybody's an individual. It depends. Everybody needs to be considered. But when you say something and point out behavior, it's like, why'd you do that?
He wrong for that, baby.
So, you know. Let's just keep it fair throughout the playing board. Everybody gets an opportunity to operate and everybody has a point of view. So shout out to you for you and your point of view. And thank you for joining me, man.
Appreciate
you guys have an amazing weekend. Do something good for somebody other than yourself, because that's when real character shines through. Like I said, the missus leaves you with 10 p.m. I'm a little different. I leave you with thoughts and prayers. I think
Thoughts
I
and
leave you with
prayers?
thoughts and
So she was leaving this shame now. Just kidding.
I do. I leave you all.
I would say it's 9 o'clock.
With thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers are with the people in Colorado.
His thoughts and prayers are with them.
Our deepest thoughts and prayers.
Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims and their families.
My thoughts and my prayers.
Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims.
The thoughts and prayers.
We need our thoughts, our prayers.
Extend our thoughts and prayers.
This is not the first time. Our thoughts and prayers.
The people of Orlando, they're in our thoughts and prayers. We hope you'll set your DVR so you never miss an episode.
Our thoughts and prayers today are with the victims and survivors in Las Vegas.
Our thoughts and prayers.
That makes a difference. Thoughts and prayers make a difference.
Our thoughts and prayers are with the people of Virginia Beach.
Prayers. Our thoughts go out in El Paso and Dayton.
Our thoughts and prayers should obviously be with the 10 victims.
What can Congress do? I mean, certainly our thoughts and prayers.
Whoopi Goldberg, who's saying she's going to punch someone in the face if she hears another Republican offer thoughts and prayers. Really, Whoopi?
All our thoughts.
Fortunately, some members of the media.
Some members of the media.
Some members of the media.
Some members of the media use their platforms
to push their own personal bias. To push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Unfortunately, some members of the media.
Some members of the media.
Some members of the media.
Some members of the media use their platforms
to push their own personal bias. To push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. This is extremely dangerous to our
Peace.
Everything in creation and in physical form has its own fundamental resonant frequencies. Everything in creation and in physical form has its own fundamental resonant frequencies. Everything in creation and in physical form has its own fundamental resonant frequencies.